Today, I'm diving deep into the history books to find out if Snow White is actually based on real events. Can I uncover the truth behind this classic fairy tale? Snow White has been a beloved fairy tale for generations, captivating audiences with its timeless story of beauty, jealousy, and redemption. But have you ever wondered if this magical tale has roots in real history? I mean, it's easy to get lost in the whimsy of fairy tales, but is there more to Snow White than meets the eye? One of the biggest challenges in exploring the historical roots of Snow White is distinguishing between folklore and actual historical events that may have inspired the story. Folklore is often rooted in oral traditions, passed down through generations, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Moreover, many historical records from the time period when Snow White was first written have been lost or destroyed, leaving us with fragmented pieces of information. Another issue is that fairy tales like Snow White often draw from a mix of cultural influences, making it hard to pinpoint a single historical event or figure that inspired the story. It's like trying to untangle a messy thread. You're not sure where it begins or ends. Additionally, the passage of time has allowed for creative liberties to be taken, altering the original story over the centuries. Despite these challenges, many historians and scholars have attempted to uncover the historical roots of Snow White. Some have looked to the lives of historical princesses, like Margaret von Waldeck, a German countess who lived in the 16th century. Her life shares some eerie parallels with Snow White's story, from her beauty to her untimely death. Others have explored the societal issues of the time, like the struggle for power and the treatment of women. One theory suggests that Snow White was inspired by the medieval European folklore of the persecuted heroine, where a beautiful young woman is pursued by a jealous rival. This archetype can be seen in stories like Cupid and Psyche, or even Cinderella. Another theory proposes that the story was influenced by the Black Death, which ravaged Europe during the 14th century, leading to a cultural fascination with death and the supernatural. Some of the most compelling evidence for Snow White's historical roots comes from the story of Erzsébet Bathory, a Hungarian countess who lived in the 16th and 17th centuries. Known as the Blood Countess, Erzsébet was accused of bathing in the blood of young virgins to retain her youth and beauty. Her story shares striking similarities with Snow White's stepmother, the Evil Queen. What's striking about Erzsébet's story is that it highlights the darker aspects of history, where powerful women were often feared and vilified. This fear of female power could have influenced the creation of characters like the Evil Queen, who is driven by her own vanity and jealousy. It's a fascinating connection that points to the idea that Snow White may be more rooted in reality than we think. In summary, while it's difficult to pinpoint a single historical event or figure that inspired Snow White, exploring the cultural and historical context of the story reveals some surprising connections to real events and figures. From the lives of historical princesses to the societal issues of the time, Snow White's story is woven from a rich tapestry of historical influences. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the history books. If you're curious about more fairy tales and their historical backgrounds, be sure to check out my next video, where I'll be diving into the fascinating story behind Cinderella. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Snow White is based on real events?